Hey guys, welcome to this tuning tutorial. I just made it already, but yeah, turns out Bandicam decided to not record my voice and the audio in the video with it, and I've had to record it all, re-record it all. So I'd already done all this tuning, and I'd already explained for 27 full minutes to you guys what all of this was. But we're gonna have to just reset all that. Okay guys, so that was basically all of it. I just removed all of the tuning that I had spent 27 minutes doing with you guys. And I would be finished the video right now, but it's okay, it's okay. Let's just redo the video. Okay, so first, if you don't have portamento, which is this little bit, these little bits, on your notes, then I'm going to show you guys how to add that. Press edit in the top left, select all, and now you're going to right click on any note, press region property, and then, oh no, sorry, you press pitch, and then you will tick vibrato and portamento. Well, not vibrato, I'll explain that later. You'd click portamento, so you have now these lines. Oh, that's all reset to exactly how it was now. Okay. So, in this tutorial, I'm basically going to show you guys the way that I tune. So, first here we have Mawarine Shuu. I'm going to show you, well, he's got quite a powerful voice, and he's singing in the third pitch, so C3, D3, E3, G3, etc. So, in voices, if you want them to sound quite manly almost, it's good to put the control point at the very beginning of the note, and then press right click on it, press add control point, and add a little second one like this. And then you can drag this out as much as you want. You can have it there. That'll make the note sound off though, because this is what their voice is doing. Their voice is doing this dip right here, so it's good to put it there and have this little like bit where their voice rises up from the beginning. See, you can hear him like rise. You can do as much as you want. You can put it all the way down to like here. But it's good to mainly just put it at this bit here. Now, usually at the beginning of sentences or verses, it's good to add a bit of vibrato, or in just any really long note like this one, this one, this one. They're all good to add vibrato in, which is when the voice shakes. To do that, you right click, press pitch, and take vibrato. Now you have this. You can click on the bottom of it here, hold it, and drag it up, make it huge, or make it really thin. But just put it to whatever sounds really right for this voice, for this song really. You can use these little sliders on either side to change the amount, like make it fade out, like that. You can have it fade in, which I wouldn't really ever recommend because that would sound really odd. You can use these little buttons. I'm not entirely sure what they do. This one does this, I know that. The other one, this basically changes the length of each, oh, I should know the word for this. I've forgotten the word, sorry. Changes the length of each loop, really, for each bump. Not really sure what this one does. It doesn't really, it can just change it. I think that it changes the beginning of the note, like if it starts dipped and goes up and down, or if it starts up and goes down and up and down and up. But yeah. So the next thing I'm going to show you guys is what I think it's almost like vibrato, but it's not really. And sometimes it can sound awful, and sometimes it can sound really good. And it's when the voice shakes like this. I'm going to add two little control points here, and you get this thing. It's good to have them like roughly on the same note, but try and make them still sorta apart, like that. That's a little bit too wide, so I'll put it there. and I'll play that so you guys can hear what that sounds like. So so it's not really that audible, but it's just this little jump up almost that human voices sometimes do, and it can sound really good when you do it with a UTAU. So that's three really. We've got vibrato. Now here it was a bit too shaky, so I'm going to use this little button and just there. So I'll play that again for you guys. So it sounds a little bit more human. You can just, of course, slide it however you want. You can have it. This obviously sounds really odd, but you can just spread it out however much you want. You can have it fade in or fade out. But there you go, guys. That is how you do vibrato, basically. I like to call these dips. I call these shakes. And the next thing we're gonna do, I'm not sure their actual name, but I like to call them voice cracks. Really, you can create proper voice cracks if you do it right. I don't think many people, or no one actually knows how to do it properly. No one's really cracked, I guess you could say. Cracked the puzzle on how to do that. Oh, okay, my apologies for that. So yeah, guys, the next one I'm gonna show you is like a voice crack. I'm trying to think which note would this be going. You can sort of just listen to a UTAU if you want, and you can even sing yourself and think, oh, I dipped, or oh, my voice shook there, or like I did vibrato. And I'll just play this, but it's also, as I was saying, it's good to listen to the UTAU and think, oh, I should add this here. So we'll just play it and you can listen. But yeah, so for long notes you can do this. You can add, so it takes a while to go up to the next note. Can sound quite good. You can also do, as I was saying, similar to voice cracks. They're like screeches almost. That may sound odd, but they sound quite good. This bit's curved oddly because I was explaining in the video that didn't record properly. You can right click and change the type of curve. S curve's the standard one. R curve is that when it's curved that way. J curve is when it's curved around the other way. And linear is when it's a straight line. Linear can sometimes sound like almost like an auto-tuned screech, which isn't really what we want. So for this I'll do a J curve even. Most people wouldn't really bother with curves. Very rarely used in UTAU. But yeah, so we'll do that, and since this is a long note, we'll add a bit of vibrato. And just to add a little bit of extra effect, we'll fade into the next note here. Like, we'll go down into it quite slowly. Okay, so there you go, guys. The next thing I'm going to show you, I'll just use it here. You can actually add control point, and you can sometimes have them go to the next note early, like this. Now, this bit obviously doesn't have to be perfect. It's better if it's slightly off, because then they sound more human, because no human hits a note perfectly, like this. This whole bit is just perfect, as you can see, for all of these. I'll show you how to make it sound less perfect and more humane later on in the video. But yeah, so that's that bit. Let's have a listen to how this sounds. So it isn't really that obvious, it's quite subtle, but it just makes their voice sound a little bit better when you have this. Another thing I'm going to show you guys is here you can do this, and then, well, obviously you can do this and just have it go down to the next note a bit late. It can sometimes sound quite weird, but what we're going to do for just this video, I don't use this that often. You can add control point, and you can actually just do this. And there you go. I like to try and make it not too perfect, but let's have a listen. Something that's quite good. It's quite similar to the voice crack, like this. But another thing you can do, which is quite good in UTAU, and it's similar to the way that painters, they use certain colours to express different emotions. You can use certain pitch bends to express different emotions when it's singing, so you can do voice cracks for loads of power. They can sound quite upset, or they can sound quite down, quite down and upset, not like angry upset. So for example here, I'm gonna put a huge dip. I wouldn't usually put dips this huge, but just as an example so you can see, this will make hopefully make him sound quite sad because it's a slow pitch bend. So he sounds quite just down, really. It's quite odd, but it works quite well. So since these are long notes, we can, if you want to, you can add vibrato to them. But yeah, so we've gone over dips, vibrato, shakes, voice cracks, and don't really have a name for these ones or these ones. But yeah, so that's these. We've covered these already. We'll just listen to how this bit sounds. Now, here, this does sound a little bit fake. So you can, if they sound too fake, you can just put it down a bit. And so it sounds a bit more human and not forced. And as you can tell, guys, and I said earlier that I have overdone some of this just so you can really properly hear it. So usually I wouldn't have this big. I'd have it a little bit smaller, like this maybe. And so that's the portamento and vibrato side of pitch bending, of shakes and dips and all the big really effective things to the voice. But now what I'm going to show you guys is how to make the voice sound less like a robot and more like an actual person. Now, in the Vocaloid synthesis software, this automatically is put into the rendering where it isn't perfectly hitting every note, so they don't sound fake and they sound real. Well, realer. What to do for this? If you have the Vocaloid software, it's quite good to just press the render button and look at the orange line and look where it goes. And if you have a VSQ of the note of the song you're making in UTAU, you can kind of just copy the exact pitch. But often, basically, the rule I like to stick to is if you're coming from a higher note down to a smaller one, make it do this. I'll zoom in so you guys can see. Make it start a little bit too high up and go down into the note. And if you're going up, up from a low note, you can just do the same. I like to put it down. I like to put the note down a bit, like this at the beginning, and then stretch it out like this. And it just makes them sound a little bit more human. So I'll show you guys what that sounds like. So yeah, it's almost even more subtle than, as I was mentioning before, this little bit here. But yeah, it's quite good to just use. You can also, if you've got a short note here, this is quite a small note. This is a note that's just beside it. It's going down, just keeps going down. It's hard to explain basically, but if it's from one high note to a lower note and then to a lower note again, it's good to kind of almost skip out this note. Put this, what I would do here is add a control point. Put it here, a little bit higher. And then as for this one, I'd stretch this out. Have this go to here. and just have these kind of go down like this. Sometimes it can sound a bit odd, but yeah, this is quite good. Like to put this one, the first note, if it's got a, as I said before, do this little thing where the first note's slightly higher if it's coming down from a higher note. Don't put it too high, but just put it slightly off. And then if it's going down to a lower note, put the last bit slightly lower down. Now, as I've told you before, guys, I'm just over-exaggerating this. I wouldn't do this as like going down as quickly, but just so you can hear what it sounds. This may sound a little bit flat, but here you go. Yeah, so that sounds pretty good to me. It's quite difficult with the portamento because sometimes, since there's two portamentos and and they're like going on top of each other, it can get a little bit messed up and almost sound like it can like jump quite a lot, which isn't really what we want. So I'm gonna just try putting this like that, and we'll see how that sounds. So yeah, that, as I've told you guys already, I'm slightly over-exaggerating it. I've made him over-exaggerate the, like, being slightly off on the note, just so you can hear what it's like. But it's quite a good thing to do. You can just hear it again. So he sounds just more human, because no human hits a note perfectly, like ever, in singing. So here's another long note. Long notes are always good to put vibrato on, as I've said. And oh, one more thing you can do in pitch bending, which I've sort of already mentioned, but I've mentioned at the end notes. You do the exact same thing at the beginning of notes. You can do this. Not sure if I've already mentioned this, but yeah, so we'll just hear how this sounds. It just sometimes sounds quite good. But in the last tutorial I also showed you about how, well, the one that didn't record, I showed you that if you're, well, this is in C3 pitch, really. If you, well, C3, just third pitch. If you're in the fourth pitch, it's quite good to have, instead of like this, to have a lot of this. So for that example, I pressed edit, select all, move the region up 12, because that's the scale on the piano. And then I changed the voice bank to KAIKAI. KAIKAI's quite good with pitch, with like voice crack type things. Her voice is just really nice with them. I don't know why, but I'll show you guys what that's like. So here, the beginning of the note, instead of it going down, it go up. Obviously, you wouldn't usually do this with such a sad song. Well, you might if it's like, you can make them express like anger with the sadness in their voice, then you can do a lot of pitch bends that go up. If you want them to have like depressed, sad, then you can have it go down a lot. But usually with these voice cracks you put them a lot closer together, like this. I'll show you guys how that sounds. Okay, I'll just play this little bit here. So it wasn't that obvious because this little bit had caught on the t, which you can't really pitch bend on the actual t bit because that doesn't have a note. Like the actual constant doesn't have any pitch to it. Like if I can't sing a song with t t t, because all t's just sound monotone. Really, it's quite an odd thing to try to describe. But yeah, so I'll put it. I've put it here a little bit later. If you want, you can have it even steeper. I'm gonna just do it, over exaggerate it so you guys can hear what it's like. And there you go. Sorry, it's taking a while to render for some reason. Did I? No, I mustn't have pressed it. Yeah, so that's what that sounds like. My apologies, I'm speaking quite fast. I'll put this up here, just so you guys can hear what it's like. Now again, I've over-exaggerated the length. Usually you'd put it quite close together. This time I've over-exaggerated the width of it, so usually it'd be a lot tighter. But here you go, guys. Now, since, as I said before, I'm trying to connect these two, and it has this little gap in between which is jumpy. So for bits like this, it's sometimes good to just get rid of this bit, put this back down to where it should be. Well, you can pick between this one or this one. Actually, I think I'll pick this one because I've done this bit. So I'll just put this down here. Now, since it's going up, it's good to have a little steepy bit just before it, if you want to do this kind of effect I was talking about before. It's good to just have this, but I'll remove this little bit here. And then I'll do this. I'm gonna make this quite a steep one just so you can hear what it sounds like. Over exaggerated. Yeah, so that's that. I think we'll add a bit of vibrato to this. That might sound quite good. I'll make it quite thin vibrato. So I want the pitch bend to kind of fill in for the vibrato, really. I'm gonna add a little bit here. Not really sure what to add, but I'll just make her voice go a little bit more off. Just want her to sound a little bit more humane. So that sounds quite good. That's basically most of the things I think it's covered. I don't think there is anything else that's like often used. You can always, even on notes like this, where they're just in the same note, you can always just add a little bit of the good old pitch bend. It's quite good to make sure this bit, see how this is where the notes like touch. It's good to have it on the note that like this, the next note that's about to be sung, rather than the last note. It just sounds a lot better because that's what human voices do. So you can just see how this is. So as I said before, guys, I've slightly just over exaggerated it. Usually you just have it a little bit like this. Even here though, since it sounds still a bit odd because usually you wouldn't put it here, I just showed it as an example. Some songs, just putting it even on two notes that are together can sound quite good. Sometimes dips sound quite good together, like on the same, if there's two notes at the same pitch. Dips can sound quite good. Oh, actually, sorry, I'll play it all. So, it's like hardly even audible, but it just sounds good. But, I think that's mainly it, guys. So yeah, we've covered voice cracks, vibrato, shakes, just this little bit to make it sound more human. These odd things, not sure, don't have a name for them. And the opposite ones of those, which are these ones. But apologies for this video being so long. Apologies if I sound quite like monotone or I sound like I'm rushing. Because I already did this video and I'm just quite annoyed that, like, you know, it didn't record. But yeah, guys, so this is the end of the video. I'd like to thank you all for watching. I'd also like to say thank you for 100 subscribers. I've only got 9 videos. This will be my 10th. And 100 subscribers out of 9 videos. Like, that would be how many per video? Let me think. That would be like... that's like Well, anyway, that's subscribers every like video. So yeah, I'd like to say thank you so much for that, guys. I'm like really, like, I'm surprised. I thought it would take like maybe at least like maybe 50 videos to get 100 subscribers. But I'd like to thank you guys, and now just want to thank you all. I really hope this helped, like my tutorial on how to tune the way that I do. There are like other ways that people tune, and it just kind of makes their songs sometimes distinctive. It like someone can listen to it and they can tell that it's by them. It's quite odd, but it's actually possible. It's happened to me quite a couple of times. But yeah. So this is the Dreamer-P way to tune. I hope you enjoyed. I'm sorry for rambling on a lot, and I'd like to thank you all again for 100 subscribers. Thank you for if you've managed to get here, thank you for watching 24 minutes of this video. Last one was gonna be 27 if my Bandicam hadn't decided to mess up. But yeah guys, so thank you so much for 100 subscribers, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial on how to tune the Dreamer-P way. And for some reason I'd also like to say, guys, I don't know why the recording said it was still recording and then just didn't, so I'm quickly recording this outro bit now because for some reason it didn't record. But yeah guys, so I really am really thankful for that. I've only got 9 videos, as I said, but I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope I didn't ramble too much like I am right now, and I hope that it was clear enough, and I hope you now can go on tuning. Okay, thanks guys, see you in the next video.